Sorry.
No problem, no problem.
My old neighbor who's like sub-renting to a new guy, and he's like not paying his rent, so they're like kind of checking if he's actually still living there or not, or if he's like, or
Oh,
if he
yeah.
like just moved away, you know, because he's like living in her house. So it's like, yeah,
Does he
interest.
still live there, or is he
Yeah, or did
already
he just
gone?
like, yeah, because you know, if you're in a certain budget, sometimes people are just, you know, trying to. Yeah, okay. But before we were interrupted, you were
Yeah,
telling us about how much you love the Blade Master. What level are you now, by the way? Because you can never
I'm
say.
now 230.
230, okay.
Yep.
And yeah, so what kind of stuff do you do, and what do you like doing with the
Uh,
Blade Master?
for now, I like the training and bossing a lot. I heard and I saw a lot that towards higher level, Blade Master is pretty bad. Between what was like 240 until 260, and from then we get to Cernium, Blade Master is OP. But for now, the time that I grind, I really enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot different from the Pathfinder I used to main here before.
Yeah, the bigger AoEs, right? It's
Yeah,
different
true, and
hitbox.
just with the Pathfinder you can just push one button and stand in one place, and with the Blade Master you can just move around a little bit, and
Mm-hmm.
it's more interaction. Let's say that.
Yes,
So I
I
really
think
like
that's
it.
fair to say. Yeah.
Yeah, and the double iframes is a
Mm-hmm.
lot, a lot. Of
Lot shorter cooldowns than
Yeah.
Pathfinder as well. Yeah, more bossing oriented, I would say. Especially solo bossing, right? You don't bring too much to the party, but solo you have a lot of survivability, and
Yeah.
Dark Side is a very powerful tool for surviving as well.
Oh yes, especially during Magnus, I really hated it doing on the Pathfinder, and now I'm just
Yeah.
dark side walking around, just
Oh
chilling,
yeah, yeah,
waiting until I can burst again.
yeah. Because well, so as like a side thing, like people will often see like the things that your class is better at, and then be like. And then be like, oh, I want to play this class, and then they play the other class. And it's like, okay, it's better at these two things, but it's like worse at these other 15 things that I didn't realize how much I actually liked, and then they go back. But you don't have that at all. You have like, oh, it's better at even more things now, so why would I ever go back, kind of thing.
I use my Pathfinder for bossing, and when I boss with my Pathfinder, now I'm like, this is so slow. Even though I'm lower level, I'm killing bosses much faster and
Mm-hmm.
already attempting to solo Lomian, and with my Pathfinder I couldn't even think about doing that at the moment.
What level did the Pathfinder get to?
240 now, but the last time it was just before the DMT, and on that point I was like, I'm going to go big on the DMT and then train harder, but I totally did something wrong with the DMT. I think I didn't click the envelope, so it activated on the day.
Oh, okay.
So I bought all the cubes, everything, and I was like, oh, the DMT started. Hello?
Oh, you did get, and
Nothing?
you didn't get the buff. That, yeah.
Yep.
Hmm.
So I was like, and then I thought, okay, well, I'm going to work on my Legion, and then I
Stumbled
fell in
across
love
this
with the
character.
Blade. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Blade Master.
And you got stuck. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And okay, so you're working on Lotus and Damien now. You can kill everything before that, like all the way up to CPAP, Akechi. Those are all.
No, CPAP, not yet. I'm working on the mechanics. It's
Yeah, it's a little
It's a
bit of
little
a.
bit-
Yeah, it takes a little bit. But you have iframes and you have dark side, so you can probably. Well, I don't know how much dark side helps there, but the iframes probably help in a pinch, right?
Yeah, a lot. I think I have the problem that I try to do too much damage and don't focus on survivability, so I die in stupid moments. So I need to work on that.
Yep.
And for Akechi, I need to do the pre-quest, but
Yeah,
I
that
was
takes
like,
a while.
okay,
Yeah.
let's do it, and then I forget to do it when I'm doing dailies and other stuff, and I'm like, oh wait, okay, I need to do it again. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, it's a commitment, right? It's
Yeah.
it's not a thing you always feel like doing. Okay, but then those are like the only ones. You've done everything up to HMAG, then I guess is the next one, right?
Yeah.
HMAG and
Yeah.
lower, everything is fine.
Yes.
Okay, cool. And so you're working on Lotus and Damien. That's, well, yeah, I guess like CPAP is what you're actively working on, and then Lotus and Damien after that.
Yeah.
And have you done some practice already? Well, you've done practice with Pathfinder, right?
Yeah, and I Last I did soloing and Lotus, and I got to P3 with
Mhm.
1 life left, and what last I killed, I think 25% of her health, and then it was just too much. The P1 for me is, I think I'm a little bit low on damage for that. It
Mhm.
takes
Takes a while.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with just 2 iframes, it's harder to dodge the lasers.
Mhm.
So I think when I have a little bit more damage, especially when we see my weapon, it's epic right now because I transferred it. But
Mhm.
I think then soloing a Lotus is gonna be easy, and Dame I didn't do yet, but with the more life you have, I think that is easily possible to do.
Yeah, you'll find that for Lotus, you pretty much have the perfect kit as a dual blade. Yeah, not as much for phase 1. I guess you can use like a chain in the beginning, and then use like your final cut for the second laser, and then use another chain. But then you have to start walking around, right?
Yeah.
So unless you can do phase 1 very quickly, you still have to start moving around. But for phase 2 and 3, you're basically perfect kit, because as long as you can position properly, you have the iframes in a pinch, and you have the dark side for all of the stuff that falls. So you can ignore a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah, and of course I have my mirror target
Yeah.
first, so I can let.
Exactly.
But
Those kind of work properly now, even with familiars. So that's a
oh,
whole
they
good.
do it familiars? Oh,
Yeah, familiars don't toggle the targeting off of the puppets anymore. At least not for the archers, I believe. Then I mean, I hope that it's also fixed for mirror target.
as far as I know, it doesn't. Even in my experience too, it
Recently,
doesn't.
or because there
Yeah,
was like
recently I did
okay.
it last weekend.
Okay. Maybe some dual blades can give some feedback, maybe in YouTube video or in the comments if
Yeah.
they've tried with mirror target. Does it
Yeah,
work
I'm
like
in
a puppet, or
the.
is it not as? Yeah.
Now, I'm also in the Dual Blade Discord, and
Yeah.
there I see a lot of people also saying it still
Oh, okay.
only work for archers. So.
That's unfortunate. Yeah. I mean, that just goes to show that it's probably those things are probably coded differently, right? I wish they would just, if those things were coded the same and they fixed one, then should fix it for all of them, right?
Yeah, exactly. And for now, when I boss, I use not all the time, but 50% ignore defense familiar. So it's not that I miss it a lot. It's nice to have, but I just most of the time don't activate them and just use the mirror target just to be safe.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And for that's for crit rate, right? As well.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
When the crit rate dodges an attack and then you crit for a while. Or when you dodge an attack, but like it's easier if you let the the other guy dodge an attack.
Yeah, dodge it, yeah.
Otherwise, you're especially in Lotus in phase 1. Then if you have to count on yourself dodging something when all you have is lasers, that's pretty scary.
It's pretty hard to do.
Yeah. Okay, and so you said you're also in the Discord. So have you gotten like a lot of your basic answers and questions from there, or are you just in there to like double check what people are talking about, or?
Both actually, because a lot of people are really high level already there. But I checked because with the node stones and what best rotation are for bossing, and so I learned a lot from there. So I'm working on that too. For the few matrix, and it was really nice when I booted procession session. You had 2 blade masters.
Yeah.
Right before I was like, oh damn it! Then I have no questions to ask.
Yeah. Did you get a little? Yeah. Did you get a lot of good feedback from those? I mean, like not feedback, but I guess like information. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, but I have still some questions left. That's probably more specific one for me.
Yeah, that's fine.
It was really nice to see and to check out.
Yeah, we had like 2 dual blades, and now we had 2 canes or kines, whatever people want to say, like recently as well. Yeah. Okay, so like, do you have any like ultimate goals for the character, or do you just like take it one day, 1 week at a time?
For now, I have totally to the bottom, but they are all in Dutch. I just wrote them really quickly.
Oh yeah, okay.
I want to do solo Lomian, CPAP. And start joining easy and normal Lucid runs.
Yeah.
That is for, let's say, close, and then I will want to start on working to go in hard Lomian runs soloing a normal Lucid and going for the arcane gear.
Yeah. Okay. So you got. Okay. So let me just read up on this, so I have that in the back of my mind. Good for burning. So you still have sail cubes?
Yeah.
So you have those for like another week, 2 weeks.
Yeah, that was for using to during DMT.
Yeah.
And I was like, when I miss it this time, all my items are almost unique or legendary already, so it's not that bad. But it was like more like what to focus on, because I followed your guide, but I'm like, yeah, I'm now on that level that I want. Is it hard? Like, my question is it good to start focusing on drop / meso gear, or do I go for damage for now and work on it later?
Yeah, I guess it's a little. Yeah, it can be a little bit different for dual blade, because a lot of people will be like, do I stay dual blade? Do I keep training in dual blade? Because some people are like dual blade all the way. I love it, and they don't even ever switch to other characters. Some people are like, I'm okay to keep training on the character, but I want to focus on, for money making, they go for like a Kana on the side. And some people are like, I'm just going to go for Night Lord, easier training, or for for if they have a really good dagger, they go for Shadower instead, if they're really strong, and then work on those boost nodes. But the main thing with that is that you have to like double up and redo the boost nodes completely. Like making a weapon in a secondary is expensive, but like redoing the boost nodes completely that's a huge cost as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I was thinking about it, and that was one of my questions. But I'm also watching Pocket. He's dual blade, and he switched to Night Lord, and was like, it's really good for burst, but survivability, what for me is the problem right now too. It really sucks. Like, do I switch where I have 2 iframes and more avoidability just to do more damage in a short time, but I also will have to do all of my boost stones and everything. But like,
it's probably not a decision for now anyway, right? It's like more of a
Yeah.
decision when like the burst is really important. Like if you're doing hard lucid or something, or hard will, and you want to have those bosses be like way easier, or have an easier time getting into parties, you can post like a huge BA number, and then everyone will want you in a party, and you just like wait for domain and just go brr, and then then you get those bosses cleared. And then if training is also easier for you, then that could be like a double whammy. But some people just love dual blade and just want to stay dual blade the whole way, and they just go hard.
Yeah, true. And I think I fall under the second group because I really like it, and maybe it's not because I'm around 240 to 245 that I really noticing the difference, that it's not really that good at leveling. So
possibly, yeah. But hopefully by that time you have some extra node stones, and then it can actually be an option. Not right now, where it's like, okay, you want to have like 3,000 to 4,000 extra nodes to switch, and it's like, well, I don't even have nodes to max my own skills right now, so
yeah,
that's not something you have lying around, right?
True. No, definitely not. All the boost nodes I get right now, I use them immediately. So.
Yeah, exactly. And this is an older character, because you're mentioning reinforced set here.
What do you mean?
Well, like you say superior or stay reinforced?
Oh yeah, because I have. If you watch me, I have.
Yeah, we can go into the quick.
Belt that is 17 stars. I have reinforced earrings that are 17 stars. I'm missing the pendant and the ring, but I was like, yeah, do I go harder on those reinforced to complete the reinforced set, or do I keep staying with this and go for the superior set?
Yes. Okay. When to upgrade, drop sweet water guitar, not transposed, make a new weapon, yellow. Yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, I know what we're gonna do. So one thing at a time. Let's just go down the screens. Yeah. In order that you put in there. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Totally.
Well, you put the simple dailies here. Are you happy with the progress there?
Yeah, it's going good. It's pretty nice for the. Oh, let me check the Arcana, the Arcana symbols. I'm not doing that daily jumping quest because it's not my thing. For now, I'm really struggling with that, so I quit doing that because it's really triggering me when I get destroyed.
Yeah. Have you used rope lift at all when you're doing that?
No, I don't have that. I didn't get it. The node stone.
No, you have it. You have it.
Oh wait, did I?
Yeah, because you get it from the storyline from Lucid. You have to get it because some classes cannot climb the tower in Lucid if they don't have it. So you get it standard in the storyline. Otherwise, you can't get up there.
Oh, I totally missed it. And I see it. Yeah.
So
maybe I need to start working on that with.
Yeah, because the main thing is if you lack vertical mobility, which Dual Blade is lacking, you need to use the jumpers way more, and then out of the jumpers you need to use the rope lift to stop your momentum and then go straight up. And that's what rope lift is really good at. And other classes can do like up jumps or up dashes. You know, they can kind of like get past that, or they have teleports, right? You don't have any of those, so you basically need to rely on rope lift way more to be able to get from one place to another, and rely much more on the jumpers to get from point A to point B. And yeah, the reason I immediately asked is because like if Morass is the same level, you know, Morass gets boosted because of events and all of that because it's the highest level, so you're probably boosting it. Arcana should be leveling faster, and apparently, and definitely in this stage should be like catching up to Lachline like around level 11 or something. But right now it's further behind, so it looked like something was a little bit missing there. And I think in most situations, Choo-Choo would also be at the point or surpassing Vanishing Journey now. But I guess with the new system, if you level very quickly, they kind of level almost at the same speed. So I guess it makes sense that Choo-Choo would be behind a little bit. But have you missed like some? Did you do the kill quests in Choo-Choo, or did you like miss Hungry Mudo a few times?
Choo-Choo, I hold back a long time for because I was lacking damage a lot.
Right.
And so
for the Muto one or for the kill one?
The kill one, sorry, the kill one. Because I was like I want to do the heart and not anything else. So I was lacking a lot there. So I think not recently, but since a few months, I start doing that.
Right. And now it's doubled as well, right? Because of Yum Yum, so now it's more important.
Yeah. Now I'm getting 15 every day, so I'm really focusing on that. So.
With 15 from the Hungry Muto.
Yeah, the Hungry Muto, and then the.
And then was it 8? Yeah, 23, right?
Yeah, 8. Yeah.
And then the other one is 6 and 16, so 22. Yeah. So it's slowly catching up to Vanishing Journey, but probably won't catch up before level 20, I think. And for Dream Defender, what floor do you do?
50 at the moment.
Okay. I don't think that's not too bad.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. I want to work on getting higher, but for now it's like easy. So. Yeah.
It's really once you go in and you realize you put like one skill, and everything just kind of blows up, and your boost nodes are higher level and stuff, that you can be like, okay, well now this is like child's play. Now I definitely I need to push further. And then, it's all a matter of popping in guild skills and, just climbing and having enough points for the clocks, for the bell, right? In case you get close to losing, you can ring the bell to change one music box color. So you can clear the floor faster.
Yeah, true. And with Blade Tornado and Blade Destiny, I can
short cooldowns.
Fast clear the room. So.
Yeah. Because it kills the minions as well as the box. So yeah. And the I guess you don't have like head cooldown.
I have.
For head, okay, that helps a lot as well, right?
I got really lucky with that one. So.
So you're spamming the skills.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Yeah, I guess for Spirit Savior, it'll definitely be rope lift. That's a thing. It also just comes down to the positioning and the. I don't know what would help.
But you think just take out the rope lift? I mean, another skill just for rope lift for the daily, and then
Yeah,
take
yeah.
out back. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Just switch
like
it
holy
around.
symbol, for example, like
Yeah.
because you want to be able to still kill, like hopefully one shot the minions, right?
Yeah.
Like I can go in with a character, I guess, that has and just try without mobility, right, and just see, probably even without rope lift, it should be doable. It'll be more frustrating though. There's a run, it's really frustrating, but there's like a run where somebody gets 10k on a Kana without using any mobility, like no teleport, no, not even jump. I think maybe they do regular jump, that's it. No flash jump, nothing, and they get like almost caught like 4 times, so it's like it's really stressful to watch. But the takeaway is that you can do it, you know.
Yeah.
But it's definitely more frustrating. Because it's all about like the jumpers knowing where they are and getting from point A to B and learning that. So in the beginning, you know about expanding the map, right? So you see the full map.
Yeah.
So like if I use no mobility at all, I would go here and then go left. And you always hold the arrow in the direction that you're going so that you jump a little bit further, right? Okay, you have a flash jump, so I can flash jump.
Yeah.
And then the most important part is where you finish the.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of practicing, like you said, knowing the rotation, what is the best thing to go to do.
Yeah, handing them in is probably the hardest part to learn. But like this one, when you go, like you go to this, and you jump back when you do this one. That's a useful one. But you could also use the same one to get to the other one there with a rope lift instead. This one here. Maybe I can equip rope lift and try it with that a little bit. Because I don't use rope lift much at all either. Because most of my characters have up jump, so it's, you know, I don't have to. I just get used to not having it. But like, let's say on the right side, you do this, and I think you can jump like this. And then, where's the button? Oh, where did I put it? Here. And then rope lift. Boom, and now you're here. And then you can take that one. And the pathing is, you can flash jump here to extend the jump. Having the flash jumps, like, you can do riskier things like this. If you're fast enough, then you just get underneath them there, right? But it's also about, the main thing is, like, don't try to down jump on the roots too much, because that is down jump. You don't want down jump to be the decider of your run, because you will fail. You know, it's it breaks so often.
Yeah, I think I need to start accepting that not all the time 10k runs is not that bad.
Yeah, that was with my mom as well, because she was also like very discouraged of if she got like a few bad runs, and I was like, oh, I'm wasting my time. Use Blade Ascension as an up jump. It's not very high. Even if you use it from the ground with the up arrow, it's just not. Yeah, I don't know. Blade Ascension doesn't get you very high up in the air, right?
No, not that really.
You can like flash jump into Blade Ascension to like extend the jump a little bit, but I mean, there's gonna be some dual blade runs that you can check, I guess. Of like see how they do Spirit Savior, right? Of course, they'll always make it look easy. They'll make it look way easier than it is, because, you know, it's someone who's done it for a long time. Now I'm fucking with my keys. What did I have in here? Oh yeah, this one. Is that one on a key now? No, now this one isn't on a key. Oh god, where did I have it? It's all falling apart. 3, I think. I don't even remember. You can check, right? Can I do this on stream? Is this safe? Dual blade spirit savior. Bam. Maple C. 22,700 run. 20k run. 15k run. 20k run. What is a reasonable? This guy's really close. that's a good scary thumbnail. 15k. This seems like a reasonable.
Yeah.
Like a reasonable run. A lot of people that I see doing this, by the way. Oh yeah, a lot of people don't do that where they extend the map. I'm like, how can you possibly go from A to B when you don't even see points A and B?
True, true.
So they just go through the route like that. And this guy goes up. Yeah, so I wouldn't do this. I would just take the jumper here. And the jumper basically takes you here.
Yeah.
And then you can extend it with another jump if you want. And that typically if you take the jumper and you flash jump in the jumper, you land right on that and then you can go the other way. And then you just have to make sure you... So they use Blade Ascension here to extend the jump. So that's the thing that you can do. Like no arrow keys, but just use Blade Ascension that extends your jump. So you get closer to this one. So you already know what he's going to do, right? Like he's going to grab this one, and this is that's the number 4.
Just go, yeah.
Yeah, and then for this one, just try to go down diagonally. This one is a bit scary to hand in though, because he can, right? That's a scary line, because you're going like this, and he's coming like that.
Yeah, I think it then it's better to take the safer route than try to get it in faster.
Yeah, exactly. So safe would be going all the way to the corner, wait until he gets like here, and then just jump over him. And then you can down jump here, and then fall here, and then just flash jump like that. That's the safest. Don't go through the middle, because then you have to down jump twice, and it could go wrong twice. So I just try to hold left and down and jump at the same time, and it'll down jump immediately when you can on this little ledge. And then you just fall off the right side, and then he's coming from here, and then you just flash jump to the left, and then you're always safe. Or the second way would be to go here and go straight down so that the spirit is coming here, and then you just flash jump underneath him. You're always way faster, especially because you have a double flash jump. So when in doubt, if you like end up here on the 5th one and he's coming from here, you just go down first, and then he'll go like that, and then you just jump underneath. I finished like that one time as well with the Adele, right?
Yeah.
So that's the other thing. Like sometimes faster is better, but sometimes faster actually gets you in danger faster.
Yeah,
because you cross paths with the spirit, yeah. And it does come down to making the mistakes a bunch of times and knowing. Yeah, I don't know why he doesn't take the jumper here. So here again, I would take the jumper. The jumper takes you like right here, and then you can either pop Blade Ascension or just flash jump to the right, and you'll be right on top of this one. Yeah, this is a very inefficient path. Maybe you should look at another one. Look at someone who's doing it like high score, but then just do that, but do it slower, a little bit slower, I guess.
Yeah.
20k is usually pretty impressive, so that's... But I think is it the same guy? He learned a lot. It looks like the same NX.
Yeah.
Okay, still doesn't choose the jumper. Okay, so he used rope lift to get to this one. Okay, so this is the more dangerous path, right? Like going right into it and then going over. That's a little bit too scary. I wouldn't recommend doing that.
Yeah.
So if you want to take those, I would do... you could do jumper. I would take this one first, and then take that one, so that you can finish on this side, and then take the jumper, and then go over, because by then the spirit will be like here, and then you can jump over him. If you do this one first, and then the spirit is already here, then you can't take that one, and then you still have to take the jumper, but then you lose an extra one, and an extra one is stuck, and it's stuck on the left. So if you can, what you could do is like you go to this jumper first, you jump here, and then here you take rope lift. And then you take that one first, and take the one to the left, and then go all the way left, and then jump over, because all the other ones are on the right side. That could be something that you can do.
Yeah, so it's a good combination between checking where you are on the map and the mini-maps, so you can time the rope lift good. And
yeah, once you know how fast you are, you'll know what a spirit is. You don't have to worry about him anymore. Like, you'll know which jumps you can make and which ones are the riskier ones. Or you'll get to know real quick once you run into one. Yeah, so finishing on the side one, that seems very scary in the beginning, but if you're confident, you know what you're doing, and you're fast, then that's actually a much safer one to finish with, like one of the, right, to have one of these bottom 2 be the last one of the 5. So you see he's using a lot of blade ascension to get to maintain his forward momentum with the jumping.
No.
Right, and then finishing with the diagonal. Yeah. Oh, here he did it. See? So you do the jumper, and then you flash jump to the right, and then you land right on top of that one.
Yeah.
And here you have two options. You can take this one on the right, or you can take the bottom one. If you have both of them, I would just take the right one. The right one is easier and safer, but the bottom one is also a good option. So for the bottom one, you do the same thing. You do like the down jump on the ledge, and then you just fall down, and instead of flash jumping to the left, you just fall all the way down. And then you down jump, you kill that one, and then you just jump in. For this one, it's easier. You just jump on top, down jump like he's gonna do, you kill it, and then you just down jump, and in the down jump, you flash jump to the left. Whoop, and then the diagonal is perfect to land right in the middle. And then you're right next to this one as the new one. And then you can immediately start with one.
Yeah.
So that's anything in the beginning, it feels safer to just go all the way through the middle because you feel like you're the furthest away from the spirit. But as you do it more fluidly, you'll like that flash jump down. If you're a teleport class, you kind of have to, you kind of get cocked. You go to the bottom and you teleport all the way through, or you do the jumper and you down jump through the middle, right? But if you're not a teleport class, you can get there from a lot of different situations. You could just flash jump from the bottom middle ones. You can down and then the flash jump to the side diagonally, or you can flash jump from the side, which is easier than doing it through the middle. And all of those are just safer options. And that's why, in the beginning you feel like teleport classes have an advantage because of their faster mobility and their horizontal mobility, but the further you go, the more you realize. So you see here again, right? So if you went in a straight line to the finish, here you would have gotten caught, right? Because the spirit is coming from there as well. So you go down first so that the spirit is dragged all the way to where you were, and by the time the spirit is like, where is he? And then you're already like underneath him and you're already handed it in. I know he's doing like a little bit extra blade ascensions that are completely unnecessary here. I would just flash jump, flash jump, flash jump.
Or maybe a tornado spin so that you don't jump on the platform to the middle by accident.
Yeah, you could do that. And so here he did the thing that I said was like an option. If you have the two on the left, right, that you take the left one first by taking the jumper and then using the sorry, a little bit more back. By using the jumper. Oh yeah, because he had this one, so he went for all three. So you take this one, and then he took the jumper, and then rope lift. And if you cancel the rope lift in time, you also just fall from it. So if you cancel rope lift at this point, he would fall to the platform, but he cancels a little bit late because he's trying to attack. So he ends up on the route. But that way you take both of them, and then you end on the right side, and then you can flash jump, blade ascension, and get to the other side really quickly. Get a lot of distance between you and the spirit. And then there's a lot of ways to finish here. I would finish with this one because you would be able to jump in before the spirit gets here. Since you finished with this one, he gives the spirit extra speed. This is a little bit scarier. Yeah, so like the safest is doing all the way on the left, right? Waiting for the spirit to come, then jumping over, and then doing the thing, but then mirrored from the other side, like down jump here, fall to the left side, flash jump into the right. The little bit safer would be to take this one on the right because you'll have the stage 4 spirit, so he's much slower. So by the time he gets to you, you will already have gotten this one and jumped in. The most dangerous one is the one that he took and took the middle one, because then you're like both the closest to the spirit and you're speeding it up from the longest, and he barely dodges it here. So that's like the scariest one. I would recommend this one the least. But you can see the other video was also this guy, right? Where he got 10k, and then this one he got, I think he got almost 20. And there's still a lot of stuff that he can improve, so I'm sure he can get like 22.5 or even 25k runs if he does all the things perfectly. Yeah. That's the thing that I don't ever do, but that's a good point, is that since you have the double flash jump, you can jump off to the side and then jump back and kind of make like a zigzag down. That's something that I don't have in my brain because I usually don't do things in double flash jump mode.
Yeah, and I think it's tricky because if you don't position your good the right way, you jump further from where you were going. And
yeah, if you do it too early, you'll overshoot it. Yeah, exactly. Or you'll get stuck on another platform and that slows you down a lot.
Yeah.
So here it goes for the safer route. It goes all the way over. And yeah, usually I don't do this diagonal either because you typically get stuck here somewhere and then he comes, but because you have blade ascension, you can prolong your jump and you can make sure that you get stuck only very here, but it's still kind of dangerous, this one.
Yeah.
But he has more experience with the character, so he's doing what he's good at. Yeah, exactly. So I would typically take almost the same ones that he does, but like maybe in a different way, a little different direction.
Yeah, I understand. That is something to start working and then. Just switch holy symbol out for.
Yeah, I think rope lift will be in a lot of situations very nice because, yeah, the jumpers are great for mobility, and then you need something to be able to stop your momentum. Flash jump, teleport works great for those, but yeah, you don't have any of those, so rope lift you'll be a little bit more reliant on. But try to not use rope lift too much either, not like with every single thing, because unless you cancel rope lift properly at the right times, rope lift can also slow you down quite a bit, right? If you get too high and then you have some air time and then you have to land and then you have to down jump again, that gives it the spirit time to grab you as well. So so use it wisely. Don't use it too much either. But yeah, you have to
be a lot of practice.
Yeah, it's practice, and you have to find the balance. Once you find like a route that works for you, where you can always get 2.5k, if you have to take a detour and take way longer, but to get a 10k run, that's fine. Because then if you get one 10k run, then you're already guaranteed 20k points, right? Because you're already up to morass, and once you have a Sphera, all you need is one 10k run per day, and you're good.
Yeah, true. But
and then it's 10 symbols.
Always try to get 2.5k before you go in, or accept that it's 2k for the safest route and just get the points in.
Like if you have 4 spirits, you mean, and not go for the 5th one if you're thinking. Yeah. Usually I would always have kind of in mind like what is the one that I'm going to be hitting last. Like what is going to be the 5th one, right? Is it going to be like one on the top side so I can flash jump down diagonally? Is it going to be one like on the bottom middle so I can just hop in afterwards? That's always like what I have in mind when I'm going towards the 4th one. Is like, where is the last one? Like, what is going to be the one to finish with? And honestly, if you're all the way stuck on the sides and you're like, I don't know where to finish, you could always just wait for the spirit to get close and then jump all the way over the middle and then grab one all the way on the other side and then wait for him to come close again and then jump all the way over again and then just go through the middle, or not through the middle, but like just through the side of the middle, right? If you need to, you can just kind of play with him and drag him from one side to the other and just jump over him, and then you'll be fine too. Like again, because that last spirit is worth 500, right? And then the first one is just worth 100. So that last one is definitely worth getting.
Yeah, I think I just need to practice, and then I get the feeling for it, knowing what route takes the best, what.
Yeah, and especially if you're not one-shotting in the beginning, it can be very annoying. But yeah, you need to you just got to practice it. But like in the end, it'll mean that you spend like 3 to 5 minutes, depending on how many runs you need to do, but you get 10 symbols a day. It's just too good of a daily to pass up on, honestly.
Yeah.
It's too much progress. I mean, you're more than doubling your speed in the area, right, to level up.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the one. That's that. When it comes to, I mean, Sphera, you haven't unlocked it yet. New dailies, Morass and Sphera coming soon, so it's gonna be extra symbols. And
forward to it.
Yeah, yeah, you sound very excited.
Yeah, probably because I'm. It's pretty slow in Sphera in Morass.
Yeah, both is 8. Going from 8 to 14 is a good increase. Yeah, it's almost double, so that should be good. Yeah. Okay. And for the Matrix, you had some questions?
Yeah, because I followed your best trio notes, but I saw you when you're talking to not 265, but the other dual blade. That it's smart to switch around and to go for 2 bossing nodes and 2 mobbing nodes.
Yeah, if you can, yeah.
Yeah, I have now the top left nodes are the trio nodes that are from your Excel spreadsheet. But I was like, when do I switch it around?
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I mean, essentially, the faster you can switch it, the better, because that means that you're more specialized, and it means that you have more slots left over for skill nodes, which means you can be fast, you can be stronger in, or have more mobility, right? If rope lift is necessary, or you can have blink for survivability, for floating in hard boss fights, or you can have your bind on for bossing, which means you can confirm your blade tempest, right?
Yeah.
That's essentially why you would try to do that, and like the faster the better. But it's hard to put that as a requirement when you're just starting out and you're just opening nodes, because then it's just you just don't have as many nodes in the beginning, right? So you're going for so that third node is which skill is that? Hang on, you need that scroll thing. Is that the one on the top? Is that the blue scroll thing?
The blade clone. This
yes.
Second one has that.
Blade clone and God, what are these skills called? Sudden raid.
Yeah, Sudden Raid and Blade Ascension are the
Blade Ascension. Okay.
Second trio.
And then
the first one is Phantom, Azure, Anger, and Blade Fury. So you want to switch Blade Fury for Blade Clone for the boost one, right?
I think so. Hang on. Wait, do you boost a clone? Wait, you have the sword, you have the owl spinny thing, you have the regular stabby thing, and then you have the mobbing blade spinny thing.
Yes.
And then you have
Sudden Raid.
Bro, these fucking skill names. Yeah, Sudden Raid, Blade Clone, Blade Ascension.
Yeah, correct.
And Blade Clone. Wait, is Blade Clone the one with the blue?
Yeah, that's the blue.
The blue thing.
Blue
okay.
Scroll.
Right. Okay. Okay. But it sounds like Blade Clone sounds like it's the other thing, like the mirror image thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like a clone. Okay, I was so confused. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, the naming, it's not really the best.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just like translation from Korea as well, right? So sometimes the name isn't even necessarily what they intended to be. So you want to switch Blade Fury and Blade Clone if you can later. Yeah, because then you have specifically 3 bossing ones and 3 mobbing ones, right?
Yeah.
Because you use Clone only when you're bossing, and you use Blade Fury only when you're mobbing.
Yeah.
So if you can get Phantom Blow, Blade Clone, and Azura's Anger together, and use Azura's Anger for both, but you don't need to boost it for mobbing because it's already so strong. You only need to damage when you're bossing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why you can specialize, and then that would be the goal, quote unquote. But you're looking for the 4th boost node now, I'm guessing.
I have it for now. It's Blade Fury, Sudden Raid, and Azure Anger. I have Blade Ascension, Phantom Blow, and Blade Clone on the bottom right one.
Yeah.
So like I have the 4th one, but for now I was like, yeah, Holy Symbol for the drops and XP is better than that little bit more damage on Blade Fury. And then I saw your session with the other dual blade, and I was like,
yeah, do you commit now or should I wait? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I guess ideally, because there's so many useful skills, right? Because you have like like especially for bossing, you have the blessing one, you have the Shadow Walker, you have the bind. Like being able to use all of those and just getting rid of your mobbing skills, which you're never really using anyway in bossing, that could really optimize for bossing, especially if you're trying to go for those harder bosses. You need extra damage for CPAP, and like for Lotus and Damien and stuff. You want to get into the habit of having all of those skills available to you to make your burst even better, right? Because you're a little bit more DPM-y now, and you want to rely on that Blade Tempest and boost that to the max so that you can get, with the Last Resort and the Shadow Walker, that stuff together, all of your final damage. So I mean, I guess when you're opening nodes now, if they start with any of the 4 that you already have, you just hold on to them instead of leveling them up, I would say. The other ones you can all still extract, but like with those 4, I would hold on to them and then see until you find the correct configuration, the other one, which might take a bit. So if it takes like super long, you'd be like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna level up boost nodes a little bit because I don't want to sacrifice too much damage. Specifically on the 2 lower level ones, right? Because the higher level ones, I mean, it takes quite a lot to level them anyway, so it's fine to keep up to like 10 or 12 boost nodes or something of the same kind. I mean, as long as it's not right, there'd be a very select few of them, right? Because there's only going to be 2 combinations per, right? So it's going to be you're looking for like a Phantom Blow with then Blade Clone and Asuras Anger, or Asuras Anger Blade Clone, right? It's only those 2 options that you're looking for.
Yeah.
And then the other one starts with the other one is Sovereign Ray. What is the 4th one? What does that one start with?
Let me check which one. That one starts with Blade Ascension.
No, that's the 3rd one, right?
Oh, your mouth was on the 3rd one from.
Yeah. The 4th one is not on screen. That's why I'm asking.
Oh yeah, sorry. That starts with Blade Fury.
With Blade Fury, okay. Blade Fury. Oh yes. Then you have 3 that start with the mobbing skills, right?
Yeah.
Which means that you can't make the perfect set with these 4 that you have now. But that one isn't leveled, right? Or it's like only.
It's level 5.
Level 5. Okay, that's not like too bad if you have to disassemble.
Yeah.
Because if you're trying to min max, then you're looking for just, you know, you have 2 of them have to start with Phantom Blow or Blade Fury or Asuras Anger. So I guess that's kind of like a blessing in disguise. So you have a little bit more outs, because like the Phantom Blow is locked in, definitely, because it's level 18, right? So you need to have at least one that starts with Phantom Blow, and then have Clone and Asuras Anger. But then you can find, if you find any that starts with Blade Clone that have Phantom Blow or Asuras Anger, or with Asuras Anger that have Phantom Blow and Blade Clone, so you have 4 outs at least for those, if you want to min-max it like this. You could also be like, okay, I have like 40 of all the nodes, and I haven't found them yet. Fuck this, I'm just gonna... If by that time you've leveled so much that you have so many slots, you can always be like, I'm just gonna use all 4 all the time, and fuck all of it, you know? Because you do get enough room after a while.
Yeah, is it smart to buy slots on this level, or not? Because I'm not like I'm missing it. It's nice when you can add another, let's say, boost node or skill node, but it's not like I'm missing it right now. So just...
Yeah, it's usually something that people do if it's like your 3rd or 4th or 5th character, and you have like a bunch of you have like 500 nodes plus you're going to throw on the character. It's weird to not be able to capitalize on those nodes immediately and just use them as fast as possible. Likewise, if your character requires like 4 or 6 boost nodes, you know, and that just requires so many slots that you can even move in any of your skill nodes, which would help your bossing, and your bossing skills are actually significant to your damage output, then it would also be beneficial to buy the slots early. Typically, I like to not get used to that, and I try to use it as a motivation to level, because I already have so little motivation to level. So I could be like, okay, but if I get 5 levels, then I can equip another slot, you know. So I kind of use it as the stick behind the door, as we say, right? To get there. Like, I think at this point, like, being able to bind, but you can probably, you know, get rid of like one of the boost nodes, or maybe get rid of the holy symbol during the boss fight if you can get Shadow Walker and the bind in there. Those are like the only ones I think that have decent value at this level. Like, I wouldn't worry about the Emperor's Blessing, or whatever it's called, the Goddess Blessing at level 1. That's not worth leveling up a slot for, right? So, yeah, if you had like
when I start bossing, I mostly switch around there than Holy Symbol for Erda Nova. The Shadow Walker, I'm not missing it at this moment. It's not like I would lose a lot when I don't use it. So
yeah, it's more like if you had like a level 16 boost node on bench, I would say buy a slot, because there's like 64% final damages, or like 32% final damage plus, like just waiting for you, right? 42%. So that would be like a huge waste to not level that. But in the current situation, I don't think it's necessary. I think the people who really, really care about it will just get it, and then if you're wondering about it, it's probably not worth it.
Yeah, true. And my second question about this, I have 6 experience and concentrate experience nodes. Stones. What's the best thing to use them on? Is it smart to use them on the skill nodes or the boost nodes?
Yeah, so they only give you the experience for, I think it's the experience for 3 nodes, which makes them like pound for pound not as valuable to use on boost nodes versus skill nodes. But generally the value on a boost node is higher per level than on a skill node, right? Because of the final damage and everything. Some people hold on to them until True Reckoned Reflection, until the will skill, because you can only level it with hard will runs. I'm not sure if that's 100% necessary, because even at level 1 it's very strong. But yeah, most people will hold it for that. If you're kind of stretched for nodes and you do want to get like short-term gains, I'd be okay with it like leveling up your holy symbol, because you'll get more drop rate for more nodes, and for more items, and you'll get more EXP in the short term. And it's also a skill I would generally put on a leveled up slot, just to give it more boost for like the whole time. Because like when you're mobbing, you don't really use Blade Tempest at all, right? Maybe use it to kill like an elite really quickly, but that's about it. So that leveled up slot is kind of like sitting there, and it gets less resort for mobbing. You don't use much either. But I don't know what else you would use there. I mean, or to shower or some shit. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess another boost node, right, would come in there once you have like the whole set. And if you do have, because if you do end up getting them on 4 different, I don't think it's that bad. You know, it's more if people have like a bunch of nodes, they're opening a bunch of nodes, and they have all the choice, and you can fuse them like that. That way you can set yourself up to being like perfectly situated for the whole game if it's like your 3rd or 4th character. But if it's your new main character, it's something you do to min-max later on. If you want to have like if you want to have like blink in there for bossing, you want to have the bind in there, all of the burst skills, you want to maybe have like a special node in there for extra damage, right? Now you're talking like I need 40 slots, and you know, I don't have any of this room, so at that point you start really like min-maxing with the slots. But I think for most people it's fine to just have 4 slots be occupied by boost nodes. That seems reasonable for any class to be able to do around this point, like around 235 or 240, without missing out terribly on any skill.
Yeah, okay. And the Venom Burst one is just not gonna be used anytime, right?
Yeah, you can probably double check in the Discord, but as far as I know, I think only Cadenas use it, because they do more critical damage for every debuff on the target, so it actually gives them enough damage to use it. But I think every other class is just like, doesn't even think about using it. I just don't even know why it's a skill, honestly. Maybe part of the Explorer revamp, they'll look at that skill, but yeah, it's weird. I think people just expect it, yeah. And that and like Mystic Door is also like one that's just free shards, I guess.
Yeah, true. I need to distract them.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Okay. Okay, you have your. Oh yeah, this is just the level of your skills. Yeah. Okay. And your link skills. Do you have any questions for that?
No.
Okay, good.
No, not really. I think I'm working on them, and I know what to work on for now.
Yeah, like connected to ID maybe, right? Because you had questions about low ID, yeah. But I think I mean, yeah, the empirical knowledge can level up, and I guess the Hoyoung or the Zero could be like desperation ID ones. But I mean, as a dual blade, you can err on the side of low IED, right? Because you have a lot of built-in IED.
Yeah, true.
In your
the
kit.
Discord, a lot of people were talking that you want to end around between 90 to 95% IED, and I'm like at 80 without familiar. So I was like, whoa, do I really am on the low side on that? For that, or?
Well, they're probably talking about like visual IED when you're like doing black mage or some shit, because that's like really high for a dual blade.
Oh, okay. Okay, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, they must be talking about like end game where other classes are like unironically trying to reach like 97 or 98, and then if a dual blade has like low 90s, then you're fine. I mean, when they're saying 95 as a dual blade, that's like 8.5k Legion, like fully decked out. I don't think a dual blade would visually ever want to go for a 95. I think most classes don't even go for a 95. That seems like true end game stuff. So, I mean, it comes down to like with, and we can go into that for a little bit, like how IED is calculated and how it works, right? Did we go over this on your Pathfinder?
Don't think so, but I don't think I had a question about it that time. It's more like now I see like people talking about it, how it's really important and it needs to be that high. I was like, well, where do I get that from? I know it's from the 40% from the Legion, of course, but it's like I'm still missing a lot then.
Yeah, exactly. But it totally like with all things, it depends on how much you have access to, right? How much is reasonably accessible to you. So some people can say like, oh, your total weapon attack probably wants to be like around 3,000, and you could be like, oh my god, like where am I gonna get? Well, I mean, there's star forcing, you know, there's higher level equip sets, there's set bonuses, there's a lot of attack that's coming on your way, and it's kind of the same thing with IED. Like a lot of it will just, you know, eventually come to you. A lot of it comes from Legion and links in from your hyperstats. Familiars can do a whole bunch. Set bonuses, right? Like superior set bonus is huge. But a lot of it for, so kind of surprised if people are really saying like 92, 95. Like I wouldn't think that a dual blade would really go that much over 90 like ever. It seems like maybe you go up to like 92 or something if you're like doing Black Mage. Maybe they're saying 95 for like Saren or something because it has 390% PDR, but even that seems high for a dual blade. So, so when you're talking about IED, you familiar with like multiplicative and additive, like the difference?
Not really, not really.
So if you have like, let's say you have 10% critical rate and you add 10% critical rate, now you have 20% critical rate, right?
Yeah.
Just a 20% chance to hit a crit. But if you have 10% final damage already and you add another 10% final damage, now you have oh god, how does the math work out? But now you have like 120, or now you have like 100 you go from 100 to 110, so now you have like 121% final damage or something, right? Because it's, you can take 10% of everything you already have. So you don't take 10, but you take 11. And then you add 11 to it instead of adding 10 to it, right? Because the base changes. That's when it's multiplicative.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like sum-extelled interest, almost, right? Like compound interest, right? So IED kind of works the same in that every source of IED, like all the percentages get thrown into one pile, and then they get multiplied with each other, and then out comes the number of this is how much IED you have. So basically, the easy way to calculate it is that every line of IED that you add gives you that percentage of how much you're still missing to hit 100%. So if you have 0%, you're still missing 100%. You add a line of 30%, you go from 0 to 30% because you add 30% of the 100% that you're missing. That's simple, right?
Yeah.
Now if you're at 30 and you add another 30% line, now you're missing 70%. So you add 30% of the 70% that you're missing, which is 21%. So you go from 30 to 51%. And then if you add another 30% line, you're missing 49%. You add 30% of the 49%, which is like almost 15%. So then you go from 51 to 66. So you see that there's slowly diminishing returns, right?
Yeah.
It's not the full percentage, but the higher you go, the more diminishing it is, right? Because now you're at 90%, you add 30%, you add 30% of the 10% you're missing, you add 3%, you go from 90 to 93. So the higher you go, the worse, quote unquote, it is. But bosses have more than 100% PDR, right? In the beginning, they have very low PDR, almost none. Regular monsters has almost none, right? That's what that we don't really use IED or boss damage when we're mobbing regular monsters. But when you're attacking bosses, there are higher levels, and now that's starting to come, like with Helix has 250. I think HMAG has 200, if I'm not mistaken. And then like Lotus and Damien have 300, and then above that, they all have 300 up until Saren has 390. So that's why I mentioned Saren, right, with a higher IED.
Yeah.
And for every percentage of PDR that's left, you get 1% final damage reduction on the boss. So if you're attacking a boss that has 200% PDR and you have 50% IED, you ignore half of their armor, which is 200%. So they're left with 100%. So you get 100% final damage reduction. So you hit once.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So you have 75%. Yeah, you have 80%. You ignore 80% of the 200% armor. You ignore 160 of the 200. So 40 is left. You get 40% damage reduction. So you only deal 60% of your final damage. That all make sense?
Yeah.
So if they have 300%, yes, there's diminishing returns on the IED, but for every 1% of IED you go up, you have a 3% final damage reduction less, right? If you have 90% versus 300, 270, 30, so you deal 70% of your damage, you go up 1% IED, you go up from 70% of your final damage to 73% of your final damage. You go up 1 more percent, you go up to 76. That's a very significant damage increase. Way more significant than any other upgrade you can make at a certain point, right? So that's why at a certain point, when everything is like kind of maxed, if you can add IED, that's actually great in the end game. Because the bosses just have so much PDR that the final damage increase it gives to you is so much, because every single upgrade is like 150 bill or something, right? When you're getting like super, super high and everything is 22 stars. Like upgrading anything there is insane. But if you can squeeze in a little bit more IED and actually get, you know, ignore more of the PDR and get more of your final damage in, that's actually a huge upgrade the further you go. So the thing with, so IED lines, all of the lines are calculated individually, and because it's multiplicative, it doesn't matter which one you calculate first, right? You can do 10% first and then a 50% line, or the other way around, you end up with the same percentage. So that makes it simple to understand, but a little bit complex to calculate because there's a lot of different sources going on. And there's like a 7% here and a 10% there and a 9% there and a 20% that doesn't always activate, but sometimes here, you know. And what Dual Blade has a lot of built-in IED and a lot of your attacks. So generally, Dual Blades verge on or aim for very low IEDs. Because if you look at your skills, you'll see that some of them have IED on it. And I believe your mobbing skill even has some. Is it Blade Fury? Yeah, Blade Fury. But the main one is the Phantom Blow has one. And I believe Asur's Anger has 100%.
Yes.
And I think Blade Tornado has 100%.
Yeah, correct. And
Blade Tempest has 30, I think.
Yes.
And then, or 20?
100.
Oh, Blade Tempest is 100. Okay, cool. And then
Blade of Destiny has 30.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I meant Blade of Destiny, yeah. And then I think Phantom Blow has 30 as well.
Yeah.
And then you have another hyper skill, I think, that you can use on Phantom Blow for another 20, right?
Yeah, correct.
So
I have that activated, yes.
So if you do, and then, you know, you can get into this and look at those maths yourself. So when I talk about IED, I talk about visual and functional. So visual is what's in your stat window, and that's kind of like a bad number to look at. And the more functional ID sources you have, which you now know you have a lot of, right? The more of those you have, the worse it is to look at, or the less representative your visual is of your functional IED, of how much you're actually putting out on the target. Because your visual is just whatever skill you use, whatever target you hit, this is how much IED the game is calculating. Like base IED. But if you can debuff the boss with a bunch of stuff, or you can buff your individual skills that the game doesn't know which one you're going to use yet before you use it, right? It's not like every time you use a different skill and hit a different target that your stat window changes, right? It can't like calculate those. So the game calculates those on hit, but it doesn't show those in your stat window. So it's important to know the difference. So if you look up the IED command, you'll see, well, one thing will answer your question, like what are the sources of IED that you can look at, right? It has a list here of the visual sources. So these will show up in your stat window, so you can always see the number go up. And then these are the functional sources where you can get more IED. So this is looking at like passive hyper skills, boost node level 20, right? Because level 40, because that's going to give you another extra 20 IED. So when your base, and then it also has a calculator. So you can put in the numbers and see for yourself how much IED am I realistically putting out on the target, right?
Yeah.
And that's the number that you want to look at and then compare to like the progression grid to the number here, where other people are like, oh, I have to go to 95. For some classes, that means I have to also basically see 95 in my stat window. But for you, that number is going to be much lower, but it's going to end up being 95 in the calculator as well. So you're aiming for the same thing, you're just working with different tools.
Yeah.
So let's say that you have, I don't know, so let's say that someone else has 80 and they actually just only have 80. So if they're attacking a boss that has 300% PDR, right, 8240, so they're getting 60% final damage reduction. And they can be like, okay, my ID is low. But if you have 80 and you're attacking with your, like, fucking skill names, with your Phantom Blow, right? Yeah. Then you have like PB inert is an extra 30. The PB passive
is 20.
Is another 20. Yeah. And then the PB boost node passive would also be another 20. Well, now you're putting out 91.04. So instead of getting 60% damage reduction, you're only getting 27% damage reduction. So instead of putting out 40% of your damage, you're putting out 73% of your damage. So you're almost doing double their damage with the exact same visual IED. Yeah. Right? So that's why it's very important to know the difference and to do some of the calculating yourself. But that's why, that's why I would say, like, ask the people in the Discord, but you have to be very careful on who you ask, because some people are like unironically running Black Mage and are getting ready for Saren, and they're like, yeah, you go for about 95. You do go for that, like, maybe, but that's like here, right? When other people are going for 98 or something, like, that's when they are going for like 95. But again, because again, the further you go, the closer those numbers will get, right? Because if you want to get from 95 to 98, you have to add, like, if you add 30%, you're not even there yet, right?
Yeah.
And that's why it gets crazy to have like a 0 in your party or something, or a paladin, because they can do a 50% debuff. So then if you're at 95 yourself, you can get to 97.5 with them, right? You can get the half of the stuff you're missing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I saw
so hopefully that puts everything a little bit better into perspective. And if you see numbers, you can ask them, like, what bosses are you doing with that, right? Like, what is that? So what you can ask, like, what IED am I looking for? You can say, like, at around level 230, if I'm trying to do Lucid, like, what IED am I looking for, right? You can be more precise. And if someone says like 96 and they're a dual blade, then you can just ignore what they're saying, because that's like that's crazy. Yeah, I think people just aim for like mid to high 80s. I would think, I guess, as a dual blade, right? For visual, because then they'll end you up, and you can kind of backtrack as well. You can just keep adding like 20% and be like, okay, this is, or be like, okay, this is how much I want to be at, or something, right? This is like a good number. And then be like, oh yeah, the boost node, the passive, the B, and then you can always add 30% pretty much easily, and probably a 30 and a 20, because all of your skills have built-in 30, all of the important ones, and half of your really important skills have 100% on it. So that's just cracked, because you could technically probably do certain bosses with 0% IED. Because your skills will just take you to 100, right? Because if you ever have one line of 100, it's 100% of whatever you're missing. So you always go to 100, even if you had 0. So you could, there's probably videos out there with people soloing bosses on a dual blade with 0% IED. You could technically do that. And then just go full damage on the other one. But then you're, really relegated to just spamming those 3 skills.
Okay.
Or 2 skills, right? But it is, the Tornado, the Tempest, and the Asura, Yeah. So, okay, but hopefully that makes all of IED clear.
Definitely.
And what to aim for. Yeah, and you have the list, so now you can be more direct in what you're aiming for, right? Because that will probably mean, and to take it back, it's probably that your hyperstat from IED right now probably can come down quite a bit, I hope, right? Because, so if you're going for 86... you're probably on the higher end. But the other thing is also that you are probably a little bit underrepresented in some percentages. You typically never want to go this high in IED, like, compared to the other stats.
I used a calculator in the chat, and it said that I needed to do this for bossing. So I was like, okay.
But did you, like, but is it going off of your visual IED or your functional?
Visual, of course, and
exactly, and yours is really lopsided there, so it's going to tell you to put everything in IED, because for most classes that's what they should be doing, to get more damage output, because of the final damage reduction from bosses is crazy, right? But because you have a lot of IED that's coming in after the fact, after the calculations that the stat window cannot see, that means that if you put that into damage instead, you can still commit that damage. It's not that damage is getting blocked by the armor, but you have other skills that are blocking the armor, so you can put in more damage, and that will get sent through. So it'll probably mean way more in critical damage, I'm guessing, because critical damage will... I think you're at 80 when you're buffed still, but that probably scales pretty well still, better than IED, And that's one of the big benefits, and that's why a lot of people do like solo progress and then do bosses really quickly on dual blades, is because a lot of the IED and the crit rate also with your mirror image can be very free early on. and you don't need like an 8k Legion to get that character off the ground. It can do a lot of stuff just by itself because of its kit. And that's why it's typically very early bossing friendly.
Okay.
And then they go into Night Lord later when it's way more burst meta, and then they can go way harder on the bursting. And you got the IED in here. Man, it's still weird that your IED is so that the visual IED is so low. I guess I haven't played my dual blade in a while, but like you have all of the IED full here, and this is with familiars as well, right?
Yeah, the 85% is with familiars and everything.
Yeah, that's with 2 familiars, and with 13 in hyperstats. And with your Legion full, and with the Lumi link. Now I wonder what mine is. I guess maybe I just didn't give a fuck about how high my IED was. Well, I have a 40%, right, for my Legion. That's of course like with the full 6k grid fill. That's really big.
Yeah.
I don't know if I got any IED lines on anything. That's also another thing, right? Temporarily getting like an IED line on a weapon secondary or emblem. Oh, I have a 15% line on my golden maple leaf.
Yeah, I have no line at all.
Oh yeah, I'm at about 85.68 with that's 10 in IED, and I'm like 85.68 with familiars. Yeah, but that's with a 40 from Legion, and with 115% line. Oh, and very similar indurability to you as well. 16 boss and then some junk. Yet, oh, yours is better, right? You have 17. Oh, 19. Never mind. You're
19.
Destroying me.
I tried. I spent the stupidest thing ever. I spent around 3 bill trying to get the 20% circulating.
20% boss?
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, that's not. That's.
I thought it would be easy to get. Like I got that 19 in 2 circulators. But yeah. And then I spent all my money, and then I tried with 100 XP, and I got that 90% line back immediately.
Yep.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Not
That's
gonna do that over again.
Yeah, no. That's one of the things that you can learn. If you have damage to bosses, yeah. So for indurability, you have some commands as well, right? With the info. Yeah. So one of it is a list for all the possibilities. So even if you hit, boss, there's only 10% chance that you hit the 20% within hitting the legendary boss. So it's like, yeah, it's only like a 1 in 10 even if you hit it. So yeah, those odds when people are like, oh, I'm trying to min-max my indurability because I only have 18 or 19, or like, oh, it looks so bad because I'm missing a percent. It's like, dude, Jesus, just don't even, like, why? Don't do this to yourself. Look at the 18% that you have instead of at the 2% that you're missing. Please, you're gonna be so much happier for it if you just completely ignore that, because you're gonna spend. It's never optimal. It's never efficient to try to chase that last 1 or 2%. It's never, like, it's always an inefficient gain.
Yeah, I learned my lesson the hard way.
Yeah, I'm not trying to like pour salt into the wound now to like telling it, but like in general to the people who might be considering it, like, please just count your blessings. Like, you got the stat you wanted, move on, and then come back to it later once you're trying to like min-max and you have all the billions in the world to throw at it because there's nothing else to upgrade, and then you can go ham on it. But until then, please just, for indurability, just like, yeah, just
don't.
Yeah, take what you get and then try to move on with it. The other thing, I think we updated the indurability for Dual Blade a little bit recently, because there's like a bunch of stuff. Oh, over that was for Night Lords, I think. But typically, oh yeah, no, I added the other ones. Yeah, so there's like a bunch of outs for second or third line, which is nice. You know, you don't want to be locked into just one stat being good and all the other ones being bad.
Yeah, true. So I need to work on it.
Yeah. But apparently crit, buff duration, or cooldown skip, or attack can all be very useful. And then 20 boss remain. But yeah, once you're at the point where there's like a 50% off, and you have a decent amount of honor. And when I talk decent amount, I'm talking like 2 mil or something, right? And then you'll be willing to like really commit to the indurability. Then I would try some circulators, but try to get the unique line first, right? Try to get one of these unique lines, and if you don't get it, you just move on, and if you do get it, then you lock that one and you try to honor roll back the boss for the top line, basically.
Yeah, after that I heard that that's also a real good possibility to just go for the unique line on second or third, and then go for the legendary line later.
Yeah, that's what I said. But you want to do that with circulators, because
Yeah.
if you don't roll it, you can still hold on to your current inner ability, and if you do get it, you always roll the highest number with a circulator, so you don't have the 10% chance, or the
Yeah.
right. So you always roll the highest one if you roll it with a circulator. So that's why you want to do it that way. It's basically like black cubing for your inner ability. So it's very expensive, but that's like the way to do it, because it gets very, very expensive otherwise, and it's a limited access to honor experience. So if you want to speed up that process, because you're basically gated by, well, you're partially gated by how much money you want to spend on circulators, but you're also gated by how much honor experience you have, because you want to somewhat guarantee yourself being able to get your inner ability back, your top line, right? So do go for extra honor experience. Make sure you do your weekly bosses. If you're training, drop rate gear, and probably get into that in a little bit. And you can also get extra honor experience from event shops and from the dojo shop if you want to speed up that process a bit and have better guarantee of having enough honor EXP.
Yep.
Okay, so we did hyperstats. Yep. Legion. You have any questions on Legion building?
For now, not really. More like what to focus on. That was one of the questions. What to Terra burn? What is good for Legion? Because I'm now 4K, and I think I worked down your list, and most are 140 and then 70.
Well, yeah, of course, Arc Def. Of course, I fucking know. Jesus, my fucking brain. Okay, never mind. Yeah. So you didn't Terra burn one yet? This event?
No, not yet. No.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I wanted to wait for this. So what is smart to Terra burn?
Right.
Because I have one mega burn left from because I'm from the Netherlands.
Right. Okay.
So I Terra burned Demon Slayer already, a mega burned Demon Slayer already, and a Dark Knight.
Okay.
The Dark Knight was more like I wanted to do something else than really for Legion or Link.
I see.
But I have one. So this Terra burn event, I have one left. I have a mega burning one left, and then the next Terra burn. But I was like, for the Terra burn, because it's 220, I want to do something that is really impactful for my Legion or Links, or maybe like a boss mule. But it was like, yeah, what is good to do then?
Yeah. So, do you think it's reasonable for you to go for like 6K? Is that something that you see yourself doing?
Yeah.
And 8K, is that something you might eventually do?
Yeah, eventually, but it will be a slow progress.
Yeah.
6K is probably. I can also, of course, go for all the 60 to 140 and all. The ones I don't have get to 140, but I was like, the next step to 8K is getting all them to 200, and that is gonna be a long process.
Yeah, definitely. Like making a bunch of 140s is basically free 6K, and then all the burnings and all that stuff just kind of like icing on the cake. And you still have 8 more characters that aren't even like counted in their levels, right? So the next 8 characters will have their levels completely added as well. Because up to 40 count, right? To 40 Legion characters.
Yeah.
Their levels count. Well, so because Terra burn is so good all the way like past 200 as well, like up to 210 and up to 220. Don't know if you see yourself doing that, but I would usually consider Terra burn mostly for level 3 links or for side characters if you want to have like a bossing mule. I don't know if you have time for that though.
Yeah, for now I use for bossing I have most of the time, because it's for me the Pathfinder and Blade Master, it's like half an hour total for the bosses right now. So it's like, yeah, I can add another half hour if I want to for that.
And is there a class you were interested in, maybe, or?
Yeah, that was I was thinking about getting a Night Lord just to check in night if I like it past 200. But then I was like, yeah, is it really worth getting Terra burning another thief to that level? Because I already have one of level 74. But yeah, but I was like, when you are at 220, you get a free Absol weapon, of course.
Yeah, you could put it anywhere on the account as well. Like you can see, this character is actually strong enough by itself. I could just earn my Fafnir gear and be strong enough. I can put it on another character that maybe is good at level 200. You know, like for example, like maybe the mechanic, depending on buff duration. Buff duration is okay for you, but like maybe the mechanic or like the Jet, the Shade, or the Hayato, right? That have the crit damage really good at level 200, and then you could just help those characters level up from like 140 to 200 without needing a Terra Burn or without needing special events or bonks. You can just train it up very easily because like Absolab weapon, you know, even if it's not great for mobbing, it'll still carry it with a bunch of crit rate and good base damage.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so I would say that that's where the value is, like either for the bossing mule or for a level 3 Link. And like a level 3 Link would probably be, I guess, would be either Mercedes or Evan, right? Do you have both of those at level 2 or?
Yeah, both of them are level 2.
Mercedes, Evan, yeah. And you have the Aaron, yeah, those are all 140, yeah. Because then you're looking at like going from level 2 to level 3 Link, which is mainly like set up for going for 8k Legion. And if that's something that's like still pretty far away, and you want to make more short-term games first, and maybe have a boss mule on the side, then like Terra Burning the Hermit seems like, I don't know, or like a Night Lord doesn't seem like a bad plan, honestly, because then you can really know if that's something that you also want to play just on the side, and you're like, you know, you can keep the demon at bay by just doing like weekly bosses at it and being like, this is enough Night Lord for me. I don't have to go full job switch, you know. That way you can kind of keep yourself safe from maybe making a really bad big investment of redoing the boost nodes all over again and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
Okay, it's a good thing to work on. And I was like, the Jets maybe use the Mega Burn from the NS.
Yeah, anything. But you know about the Lynx and Legion grid, right?
Yeah. I have a short, full MapleStory document with all those links.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so whatever's on the list there, that's next. I heard from a lot of people that Jet is actually really fast now and pretty strong. So some people are even saying not to use any burns on that and just to level it as it is. Seems to be very strong now. But if it's not your playstyle, then you can still Mega Burn and be like, okay, this is like not for me at all. I just want to get it over with. Then that's usually the ones I use Mega Burns for when the level 200 isn't that fantastic. You just want to get a level 2 Link or a rank S for Legion, and it's a character that you don't really like. Those I would use a Mega Burn around. So even if it's one that you already have at like level 60, where you're like, okay, this is going to be like horror to level up, I'm definitely not going to do this, then that would be probably one that I Mega Burn.
Yeah, I was thinking about the Mihail maybe, because now with the level 2 Link is the max Link. It's maybe something.
Yeah, if you don't like it and you just like, want to get it over with, yeah. That's something you could do. Because the Jet eventually does get a lot of value out of being level 200, and especially if, you know, 6k Legion is what you can definitely do, and an 8k maybe. Like the first steps you do from 6 to 8 is like getting a bunch of 200s and getting level 3 Links, right? Like with Evan, Mercedes, and Aaron, and then, you know, getting the 0 to 200 and getting all the EXP done. And then you go in basically into crit rate and crit damage. So, yeah, that's basically the next one.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
I think I have a good plan for now. Working on that.
Okay, good. Then we get to the equips.
Yeah.
Let's go. Max did it. Woo. What?
Max won the World Championship Formula 1.
Oh, Max Verstappen.
Yes.
He did? Oh, there's usually a lot of I mean, he's been doing okay, but I didn't know he was like in the running for actually winning.
No, they tied for the last race, and Hamilton was leading, and he really won it in the last lap.
Okay, wow. I mean, that's where all the races are raced, right? Isn't like the last few laps? It's like 70 laps of and then the last, or like it's the first few laps where they like overtake 16 people to try to get from like a shitty position into the front of the race, and then they stay in the front the whole time, and then it's about the last lap trying to not get passed in some stupid way and then losing the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Or not staying on too long and thinking like, oh, I can still make it, and then running out of gas, or like having shit tires and
Yep. And crashing in a wall.
Oh yeah, those crashes are nasty. Although I think it's way safer to crash in those cars now than it ever was before.
True.
The amount of
true.
safety in the cages in those things is way better now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like cool NASCAR basically. Yeah. They could probably take like Well, I mean, the whole thing is that the fact that those extra 60 laps in the middle are there gives more.
It's more for the midfield than for the leaders most of the time, because the leaders are not close in the first few laps or the last few laps. But in between is almost.
But it's easier to be focused for like 30 minutes than to be focused for 3 hours, though, right? That's like part of the whole thing is the fact that it's like kind of a war of attrition as well, and see who's left standing and still really focused and has quick reflexes after such a long race. I think. Yeah. NASCAR is like 300. Oh god, and it's just turn left the whole fucking time. It's not even like a circuit. It's just a donut. Like
True.
300 lefts. Yeah. Well, just one left actually. Just one.
600. Yeah.
Yeah. One. Yeah. Kind of 600. Yeah, because it's like an oval, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have the Absolute weapon. And you recently transferred from like a unique or a legendary.
Legendary.
Yeah. Yeah, you can tell by the 777, right? It's not very common to roll on an epic. Yeah, so you had damage, attack, and damage. Yeah, and you've got a tier 7 attack. It looks like. It's nice. Yeah, and then your Katara is So, dude, I read the boss damage as ID, and I was like, there's no way you have this low ID with 70% on your secondary, but it was boss. Okay, I was almost like super confused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I got it, was like, oh yes, I finished already my secondary, and then I learned about transposing. I was like, oh no.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, but that is a good thing in one end that you can just work on like the final Katara on the side without having to roll over your current stuff. A lot of times with secondaries, you could no transpose with that pot. Yeah, you could also decide to just not transpose. It's not a huge difference. Plus, you'll have to like redo the pot later and stuff. So that could also be something that's just too min-maxy. And if you don't think you're going to be endgame enough to work on that, you could also just keep Star Forcing this one and just get enough Sweetwater backups and just work on this. I mean, it's not like there's not a lot of other stuff that you could be working on instead, right?
Yeah, I have 49 Sweetwater Kataras as backups.
How many? 49?
49, yeah.
Yeah, you could probably get rid of some of those. That seems a little bit seems a bit excessive.
Yeah, and I have like 22 Utgard Kataras because I wanted to Star Force them to 16, then transpose it to Fafnir, then transpose to Sweetwater Katara, and I was like, yeah, that was one of my questions. Like, I have so much Sweetwater Kataras. Do I just YOLO in that the side project?
Yeah, you just YOLO the Katara, the Sweetwaters. Yeah, you just get rid of completely all the Utgards. Because that's not necessary, right? You would do that if the access to like the 160s or the 140s, 150s is like severely low, basically. Then you would keep the lower ones because then you can mitigate the risk in the middle by putting all the risk in the front on the Utgards. But if you have so many on the end, and because the great thing is once you get the trace, you just pop the trace and you just go again, right? You don't lose your stats. So since you can so you're in an ideal position there with Dual Blade because you can get so many Sweetwaters. You don't have to bother with the 140s or the 150s. And then ideally, you get to like a decent epic or maybe like a legendary, unique with like 2 lines on the Sweetwater by the time you figure out transposing, and then you transpose and then you redo the pot and then you just fully commit to that one and you're just stuck with like or you even transpose over the one that you currently have and you don't lose all that much. But if you already have this potential, I would honestly say just fuck transposing and just send on this one. And then you basically use the Katara as like another CRA piece. Like they're just all equal kind of because they're in the same situation and you will treat their Star Force the same because you have backups in the same way.
Okay.
Oh, I see what you meant about getting lucky with the hat. Jesus.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not 4%. Let's not get too crazy, Chad. It's only 3%
Okay.
with 9 luck, okay?
It's not 6%, Jesus.
Yeah, it's not, it's 6 second cooldown. That would be something. Yeah. Yeah, so I would just get rid of the Utgard ones. You could probably get rid of some of the Sweetwaters as well because you're probably lacking for equip space. If you have like I don't know, man. If you have like 12 of them or something, you should never have to use all of those. You have to be really, really unlucky or only do it like off event or on 30% off or something. Because typically you just wait for 5 to 15 and then you send, right?
Yeah.
So the amount of average booms is even at 22 is probably only like up to 7 or something at the worst. So yeah, 49 is a little overkill on that one. But I mean, you're the master of your own inventory, so you can manage that how you see fit.
Yeah, I would like just gather them all, and I will see what doing here. Like, is it enough, or do I'm really crazy with how much I was?
Yeah, no.
gathering?
I would probably keep like 12 or so Sweetwaters and get rid of everything else. And because by that time, if there is a session and you blow everything up, you probably also blow up all your money. And if you're like, I still want to go, then you just start doing the voyages again to get more Kataras, and then you just build up more, right? There's always access to more. At least that's what I thought about the Ghost Ship Exorcist badge as well. That's why I didn't get that on a lot of my characters. So, never say always, I guess. It's Sweetwater content isn't in KMS, so, at some point it might be gone. So, maybe keep some extra. I don't know. That's kind of up to you how risk averse you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, like, I mean, obviously from your WSE, like, the emblem is, like, a little bit below the secondary, and then the weapon is below that because you just transfer hammered it, but you already know about that. But whether it's a priority to spend on, we'll have to look at everything specifically on the accessories, like you mentioned, right?
Yeah.
For the top and the for the bottom, I would probably just use Master Craftsman just to get some luck and then just leave it there. These are mostly things that you upgrade on Star Force next. The potentials are not very important. As long as you have 1 or 2 useful lines on Unique, you're totally fine with that. The hat is a bit more important, of course, because of the cooldown, but that one's completely on lock. So, like, for the hat, the only thing I would consider there is maybe flaming every now and then if you have backup. The pants can do with a much better flame as well. So if you get flames from bosses, that's probably the priority for you to throw your flames on. Probably the pants and then maybe the hat. But like, I would just use Master Craftsman to get some luck. But other than that, you just hold on to them for next big 5, 10, 15 when you have a lot of money. And then CRA and Katara will be like your Star Force projects, I guess. Abzo looks...
And then go for 19 or even try to hit 20.
Usually I would do 1 star at a time until you have everything in 19. And then typically from 19, you try to bump them up from 19 to 21 if you can. Because like sitting on 20 is just so cucked. Because 21 is so close and it's so much better. And even if you go all the way back down, you go back down to 17, then you're only going from 19 to 17, so it's not a huge loss.
Yeah.
But if you get 21, then it's pretty much either done for some people or done for like a long time until everything else catches up or until you're like sitting on arcanes,
Yeah.
Gloves fine. Yeah, I guess the flames on the...
Yeah, the flames can work.
Flames aren't great on the Absolab either, and you're gonna be sticking with the Absolabs for like a little bit, so could work on the flames a little bit here as well. You know about the flame scores, about how much you're aiming for, right?
Yeah.
So probably the shoes, and then the cape, then the glove, and the glove is about at the level of the hat, so it'd probably be pants first. Pants first, then shoe, then cape, then top maybe, and then glove and hat, like in that order.
Yeah. Okay.
But they can all be like improved a little bit. I would aim for like 80ish flame score in CRA or something, and like 85ish to maybe 90, but like 85ish on the Absolab probably. That's like a clean 30 to 40 stat on each. So that's still gonna be like 100 stat, like 150, 160 stat combined. That does add up quite a bit, especially as you get more percentage later on. For the cape, I mean, I guess you can try to get it to legendary during DMT, right? There's no real rush for that.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of those are unique thanks to just doing the boss cubes.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna push them any further.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And for the accessories, like the general thing, I would not push for reinforced ever. I would always just Reinforce is like a nice temporary thing, but I'm always be looking for for superior. That's just where you want to spend all your coins, and that's what you want to go for. The faster you get that, the better. The 30 IED, 30 boss is just too good, and everything you buy before that just slows you down. So
yeah, that's all I get. All these things I get from drops, so that's why.
Well, it was in your list, right, of the questions? So
yeah.
I want to make sure. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just use the coins from the shop to go for superior things.
Yeah, exactly.
And is there a specific order to go, or just because my rings, like the Platinum Cross ring, can just...
Oh yeah, if you don't even have 4 potential rings, then I would get the ring first, yeah.
Okay.
And I guess your penance isn't as important because you have the Mechanator with a nice potential.
Yeah.
So that's a good placeholder until until it comes around. Yeah. Did you get any Dominators?
No, not yet.
Okay. That's an important daily though, because that's a that's an important okay, nothing. I mean, the only thing we can then work on for that would be to work on the potential and get more drop rate, right? To increase your chances. So that's what I would do. Yeah, like the Cup Flame is pretty decent. That's like better than all of your Absos, right? So if you can get something equivalent on your Absos, then that would be very nice. The belt is fine the way that it is. If you do get backup belts, you can use them and then Star Force later on as like fodder to get into the superior belt, right? That's the benefit of going like the potential. I wouldn't do anything on, but like Star Force wise later on, you know, once the CRA stuff and the Katara stuff, once that stuff is all 21, basically, then you can start thinking about transfer hammering stuff into the superior stuff, and then you have like the belts, reinforced or ping bean, but probably reinforced in your situation. And then for the earrings, you'll have the reinforced earrings that you're already gathering, and then those high Star Force transfer into the superior, and then then you can redo that pot and really settle into the potential for them. And until then, you can wear the superior for bossing and stuff, but you don't really spend that much into the potential because you will redo it eventually.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I would just get one accessory at a time, just getting up to legendary. You have, how much do you have now? You just have 1 meso, 1 drop? Oh, no, 2 meso. Wait, one. You have the Eye and the Silver Blossom, so that's 2 meso. Obtain.
Yeah, that's it.
And then the drop condensed power crystal, right? Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, and you don't have like a side character. You do have like characters that you do bossing with, but that's not enough to fund your entire dog and pony operation, of course. So you need that extra income from the accessories.
Yeah, and for now I kind of farm on my Pathfinder from now and then, and it's like just go to what map is it? The easy map for Pathfinders in Arcana.
You just do CLP.
CLP, and just stand there and I'm farming around 600 mil in 1 or 2 hours. So when I have nothing to do, I do that. But I want to switch to the main Mistborn farmer during training.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you have a lot of uniques, so you're like very close. Yeah, I wouldn't even wait for like DMT or something, because like that's pretty close. But you can already start like getting started, right? Like the faster you get started, the faster you start making money whenever you're training on this character, the faster you'll earn the money back. Yeah. So I would just start like 1 accessory at a time, just try to get drop or meso, and then move on to the next one. If you can, try to get drop or meso with a little bit of luck, like ideally like the Silver Blossom ring, right? If you get like 15 luck and 20 meso, like that would be golden, of course. It's gonna be up to you whether you want to keep the Diacitis earrings for damage for now, and then just do the other ones and try to get drop or meso on the reinforced.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting the Death earrings to drop or meso and use the reinforced earrings.
Yeah, I would do that. If you do end up getting drop or if you do end up getting like good luck on the reinforced, then I would just reroll the Diacitis for drop or meso, and then that'll be the situation you want to get to anyway. So
yeah,
because of the higher Star Force. But either way, they get pretty similar. Diacitis can also get the 17, so I mean they could be covered. But it has the flame advantage and has the set, but then the other one has the higher Star Force already, so it kind of compensates. So whatever function they end up getting, it's not like a huge problem. Which one is the drop and which one is the damage one? Until you have the superior, it's not really important anyway. Everything's kind of, you know, temporary gear anyway until you get superior stuff, and then you get, then it's really important what potential you get there. The aquatic letter also has 2 lines of luck. That's very nice. And then the black bean can be damaged later. It's not very important.
I know Papillata's mark is really hard to get, but I don't want to get the black bean mark to legendary. Then, let's say next week I get the Papillata drop when I join a party or something, and
yeah, you already have the eye anyway, so it's not like super necessary to go hard, right? And you have 18 luck as well, so it's not like you're losing super much damage right now. But maybe when everything is 17. I mean, you could still also just get like a regular monocle and get like 17-star monocle with like unique potential or something. And then if you get a Papillata's mark, you can just transfer your bean mark into the Papillata's mark, then reflame, and then just transpose it into the monocle, and then you don't really buy an extra one. It'll just be a direct upgrade anyway, and then you just work on that one. That way you don't have to get like millions of dineros, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the budget way of progressing through it. Yeah, because you already have some unique stuff, like the Treasure Hunter John ring can very close. I'd probably keep the pendant where the Dominator, no, the Mechanator pendant where it is. I probably wouldn't upgrade that one. That's too much loss of stat. But you can upgrade the Greed pendant, and then hopefully you get a Dominator soon, and then that can be your second pendant. So then you can have 1, 2. Or, you know, if you get another Mechanator with like a nice flame, you could send that one as well if it takes too long to get a Dominator. I probably, yeah. So I would work with the ones you already have. And if there's like 1 or 2 slots left, you can kind of leave them open until DMT comes around and be like, if I get a drop right before then, like if you get a Dominator the day before, the day of DMT, then you can just upgrade it then. And if you don't, then you just pick up a Mechanator that you saved until then. Like just save whatever Mechanator has the best drop rate. Or if you get enough to buy a Superior by then, and you're like, okay, Superior and then Dominator into Sweetwater anyway, you know, maybe we upgrade the Mechanator, but I think it's going to be fine for a damage pendant for a while, so probably wouldn't spend too much. Could probably do with a little bit of a better flame if you're gonna keep it as a bossing one though, because that's flame advantage. Yeah, so you can get an okay flame on there.
Yeah, and I was thinking about, of course, with the live event, the next thing is a ring you can get.
Yeah, that's also true. Yeah.
But I was like, I don't want to use the DMT for it, because in the end reward of gold create is the legendary scroll.
Yeah, but you can't really have too many rings in your current situation. Like a lot of people have like 8 legendary rings eventually. It's somewhere between 8 and 12 sometimes, because they have like drop rate rings and meso rings and damage rings. So you know, even if you get like all of the ones you have now legendary and you start working on meso and drop, like
still get
the other one will still have to be meso or drop, because before that, even if you get the superior ring before then, like 5, it's not like you have 5 legendary rings. It's not like the same as having like 5 legendary pendants or something. Like if you have 5 legendary pendants, then you're kind of like messing up. Or, you know, it's like old school and new school combined in one character, and it's just like a little bit different. Or if you have like 5 legendary tops, then you're definitely doing something wrong, right? But if you have 5 legendary rings, it's totally fine, because there's 4 slots. So most people have like 8 to 12, so it's not that crazy. It's more investment, of course, but there's also a lot of meso drop rate, meso obtain and item drop rate going on, so it makes that money back.
Yeah, okay, so I have now around 726 Golex coins, so like, let's say the best thing to do is get the superior ring as first one, maybe then.
Your defense rate coming. Well, it's like pendant-wise, you're also kind of missing some damage. That's actually a good question, because in like 99% of cases, I would say yes. In your case, maybe it's better to go for the pendant first, because you only have 3 potential rings, and you're waiting on that event ring, so you're going to be losing a slot there. And then pendant-wise, but when it comes, it'll fill that slot. And then pendant-wise, you have one that's kind of locked into being a damage pendant, and the other one is a greed pendant.
Yeah, you want to keep that drop, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to get to drop or meso, but ideally drop, yeah. I mean, yeah. Wait, how long do we have to wait until the other one? the level up scroll is like at the end of the event, right?
Yeah.
So that's like, oh, that's like January 12th that starts. That's like more than a month away until you can get that one. So I think it's honestly I think it's fine either way. If you get the ring or the pendant, it doesn't really matter that much. Could probably get the ring, I guess. Yeah, because it's so far away. If that was like a few weeks closer, then I'd probably say the pendant first, so you can at least fill that slot, and then when the ring comes, you can immediately fill the last slot for the next drop or mezzo, and then you're good. Because if you get the ring first and then you get the other ring, then you're kind of stuck with 5, and then you're kind of feel like you need to make one for damage, and then you have to remake the superior for damage, which you just got for drop or mezzo, and then you don't get to utilize that potential long enough, right? But if it's so far away, then it's kind of either way. Pendant, or I'd probably go for the pendant, but like it's pretty close. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then of course with this event you can get 2 17-star scrolls.
Yeah, one of them is like for mezzo is really expensive, right?
1.5 bill.
Yeah, it's pricey.
Yeah, but I thought you said that calculator wise it's worth for getting, right? So I was thinking, is it worth getting it for like the ring or the pendant to instantly getting it to 70 stars?
Well, it works up to 160, right? And the higher you go, the more expensive it gets. So if you would like 17, if you like 17 without event, it's definitely worth it on a 160. If you're doing a 150 and you would like safeguard up to 15 during a 30% off. 5, 6. Yeah, then you're looking at like 1 to 1.1 bill. But then you have to wait for the event specifically.
Yeah.
So on like a 160, I would say just do it because it's like negligible, and then you don't have to wait for the events, and you just like one click done. On a 150, if you need the item immediately, you could go for it just as a speed up mechanic. But if you have the patience and if you have the time, then you might not do it. But I mean, you're definitely using one of them, right? Because one is part of the rewards chain. I don't know if you'll be able to. Well, you might be able to afford the second piece by the end of the event, right?
Yeah, I have 3.7 bill in the bank, and I got really lucky with the Maple points. I got 50k Maple points.
Oh, nice! With the
another 30k from the compensate for net Dutch players.
Okay, cool, yeah.
So I'm getting at least 1 bill a week.
Right. Maple touring it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can. Yeah, and then you don't have to take that extra risk. Yeah, if you're okay with, I guess it's close enough. Yeah. But it's mainly for like a 160. But if you're using it on 150, it's not as worth. But it's still like no risk and instant. So.
Let's say I get a Magnetic pendant. Is it worth using it on that then?
On a Mechanator?
No,
on a Dominator.
A Dominator, sorry. Yeah. It's 140, so.
Yeah, but so for the 140, it's worth even less. But for a Dominator, you typically want to keep the door open for transposing.
Yeah, that's 16.
And that's at 16, yeah. And then if you go over, you'd have to fail, risk for booming and everything. So that's a little bit yikes. So I would probably keep it if you are going into the, if you're going into a monocle for damage later, you could use it on that, or you keep it for the superior pendant and ring. Honestly, those are like your best options.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have clear which accessories you can start working on?
Yeah, for now. And I think it's best for just to roll 2 lines or something and just check if the unique is good enough for now.
What do you mean 2 lines?
2 lines of stats, not like go try to get 3 lines of luck or something.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. It's mostly you're mostly trying to like feel out which pieces go where, and like the pieces that are like semi locked in, getting all of those to like 17, and then before going any 3-line stuff, before that you definitely want to make sure that your CRA and your Katara is like all way higher. and that you're like in full superior stuff, and that you're thinking about like transposing the Dominator and stuff like that before you ever start considering like 3-line stat for sure.
Okay.
It's pretty, yeah, it's just too pricey. It feels safer than Star Forcing, but if you have a lot of backups, then Star Forcing is safer.
Yeah.
Because you just that safety net is just there versus cubes is like, well, every cube could be it, yeah, but there's a very good chance that it's not. So with Star Force, yeah, the chances are still higher. And then you have like a bunch of 19 stuff. Like I don't even have like full 3-lined everything, right? Like that's actually 33 on the arcanes and 30% on all the, like one of my CRA pieces is still like 27%.
Yeah.
Even though it's 22 star, because it's just a pain in the ass to get to 30. I'd rather spend my money on another character than get 3% more on a top, because fuck that top, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So for the next, it's best to do the 5, 10, 15, right? Pushing the CRA to...
Yeah, anything past 15, I would always say do it during 5, 10, 15, yeah.
Okay. Great.
Okay. Yeah, I looked through the questions in the beginning, but is there anything... Okay, we didn't really talk about familiars, but are you okay with those?
Yeah.
Okay, that didn't sound super confident. What are you...
Yeah, and I was thinking about when to use the HP ones.
Oh, the healing ones?
The healing ones, like for now with with I think I need to check it one more time, or with the mirror target not working when familiars are active. If it's useful to use or just stay with the mirror target. That was more like a question.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Or for some bosses, might be better to just drop the IED there and then use the mirror target as a decoy.
Yeah.
Maybe for Gollux or something, right? Because I think it makes Gollux a whole lot easier, and he's otherwise very, very annoying.
Okay. Yeah,
but yeah, I would specifically ask a Dual Blade for that, yeah. To see like what bosses is it worth it to do.
Yeah, P1 it's really useful to use the mirror target.
Yeah, yeah. You don't want to aggro toggling back and forth and everything is really, really annoying.
Yeah.
Get a Meso drop right here. Yeah, you've got a lot of familiars that are like...
Yeah, it's...
They have a line, but it's not really worth keeping. Like, if you have just Meso drop rate by a small amount, like, you can get rid of those. Item drop rate by a small amount. Because you have a one which says increase Meso drop rate, right? If you really want to increase your Meso drop rate, you could just use that one, because it doesn't stack with different types of same drop rate. Doesn't stack. Like you can have one with item drop rate and you can have one with Meso drop rate, but you can't have multiple with the same one. The biggest number will just count and the other ones won't. So it's a lot, as soon as you get a better one, you can just get rid of the other ones, and you don't have to, hold on to like 40 of them, because then you decrease your slots that are available, right?
Okay, so for now I can just drop all the ones with that gives a small amount of Mesos. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, you have a lot with small amount of HP. You have one with 2 small amounts of HP, one for yourself and one for teammates. So I mean, I guess as far as rare familiars go, that's pretty good. Like increases item drop rate. If you can get that one on rare, then that's worth keeping. But like all of the small amounts of Meso or drop, you can
drop.
If you have one, I guess, with small amount of item drop rate, you can keep that. But then everything else, you just get rid of until you get increases item drop rate, and then with nothing else on it. And ideally, you're looking for the large amount, but that's once you get to epics and stuff. So if you're like in Moonbridge and you get a lot of them, and you can start fusing and stuff to go for epic.
Yeah.
But until then, it's slim pickings. A lot of them are, pretty shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't hold on to too many, because then you just fill up your inventory with garbage. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't have the 3 slots unlocked for the familiar, so...
And even if you have 3, you're probably not going to use 3 all for healing, right? Maybe like 2 or 1 is going to be ID or boss for a while anyway.
Okay,
so don't keep like 6 of them with the same lines, because it's like, okay. In the beginning, you just want to be like, oh, this could be useful, this could be useful. But then you have like 40 of them, and it's like, okay, I can't use all 40 of these. Just like with the Kataras, right? You're like, I don't need all 49 of these, or 47, or however many there were. Right? Yeah, but I do get like
Yeah.
trying to be cautious and not getting rid of something that could be useful. But
Yeah, but I can get rid of
mhm.
a few of those small mesos, like you said. Yeah, I
Yep.
didn't know if it didn't. Okay, so it don't stack. So I can drop all the mesos one, keep one small amount for drop, and
Yeah.
get rid of one of the with 50% ID, of course, when I have 4 of them.
Mhm. Here is I made this one for
Oh,
drop
yes.
rate, so that's how like what the sources are and like what the percentages are and how everything stacks together.
Okay.
So you can read up there on the details.
Yeah.
And it should be more clear which ones are useful and which ones are,
Yeah.
seem good now maybe, but that's only because everything else is just so much worse even.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. I don't really have enough plot. No. None?
You have
Actually, to be...
you had
Yeah,
something here
maybe.
about mobbing hyperstats. Do you have that clear? You have like
Yeah,
2 different presets?
I have 2 different presets, but like I think like with the bossing one, drop down the IED a little
Mhm.
bit more, and then going for crit damage, and the mobbing one is more like for training, and I don't think really needs a lot of work
Mhm.
in
You
the
put
end. No.
you put some more in do you put any in normal monster damage now?
Yeah, let me check for you. Yeah, I have 8 there in normal monster damage. I like took everything out of boss damage, and
Mhm. And IED.
yeah.
Then you have some bonus
Is
EXP as well.
yeah, 8. Oh, maybe I have some left in the IED. I can take that out, of course.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, you don't
normal
need any
damage,
IED
yeah.
when you're mopping it.
Yeah.
Only like end game monsters have a little bit of PDR, but even they have such low PDR, like 50% or something,
Yeah.
on like the highest levels. At that point, you have so much innate IED that it doesn't even matter.
Yeah. Oh, maybe I have one question left for the hyperstat. That's
Mhm.
I have 3 points now in knockback resistance because
Mhm.
I saw that it's really good to have, especially for because I'm close range. I'm now at 69, 96, sorry,
96. Yeah.
percent. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a good thing to keep, or is it?
Yeah, I would try to get
Okay,
that to 100%. Yeah. Yeah. So this is very class specific. Like some classes will just have 100%, and some will be like stuck at 90.
Mm-hmm.
If you're stuck at 90, then you can get a little bit in your Legion board if you want to. If you have like a really big, really big Legion, right? Or you can,
Yeah.
get like a few levels in hyperstat. Typically, you do the hyperstats one because the further you go, 5 points like means nothing. At a certain point, it's so
Yeah.
cheap. When everything is like level 8 and 9 and 10, then getting 5 levels in something is less than 1 level in something else. So
Yeah.
then it's basically a free knockback resistance there. But yeah, you want to try to get it to 100%, and especially for CPAP, you will notice that because
Yeah.
honestly, I usually say like if you don't have 100%, you have 0% because you have to be aware for every single hit that you could get knocked back, and at any time you
Yeah.
could be getting knocked back. So you have to play as if you have 0, which is tilting for me at least.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally agree.
because you need 100%, especially for CPAP, because you're gonna get knocked around. Unless you're an archer, you want to go over 100%. Like you just want to get the little thing where he like bumps into you. If that only has to bump you into one of those purple clocks one time on CPAP, and that's gonna be like the final straw for me to be like, okay, fuck this. I'm getting 100% knockback resistance because if that happens one
Yeah.
time, it's too much. Yeah.
Okay. And I think I have only one question left in total. It's like
Mhm.
for my weapon secondary emblem.
Mm-hmm.
I think weapon is just go for more like 3-line damage now, right? Because my secondary so it's a lot of bossing, of course.
Mm-hmm. Well, attack, you
So
mean, right?
yeah, attack. Sorry.
Yeah, because damage is also aligned, and which
Yeah.
damage looks good, and for some people, damage might even look like it gives more range than attack. But that's right, but when you're bossing, damage percentages reduces a lot in efficiency.
Yeah.
Especially comparatively now, way more than before because the total clump of damage versus the total clump of boss damage is way smaller now. So comparatively, it loses way more of its value when you're bossing and you're optimizing for bossing. So attack is definitely still the priority, even if it looks like less, plus stats or less range stats.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, is it smart to just because 3 lines of attack is pretty hard to get, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But where do I settle? Because I have already 70% boss.
Hmm.
So is it? I think getting another line of boss or maybe 2 lines of boss is a little bit of overkill
Yeah, probably.
for normal bossing.
Hmm. But I wouldn't say like
For normal boss.
if you hit like the same potential on your weapon as your secondary, for example. I mean, I wouldn't say like keep rolling because that's garbage or anything. Like I would probably still keep that for quite a while until I would roll away from that because it's still going to increase your damage a lot. The only time I would roll away from that is if you feel like your normal monster damage is suffering. Because that's why attack is also so good, right? Because it helps you in mobbing and in bossing. But if with line of bossing, you know, you can kill the bosses faster and you're still okay with mobbing, then I would say just hold on to that. And then, again, like, because there's so much else that you could be working on to upgrade, by the time it really becomes like a min-maxy thing of like, what are the exact lines of my emblem, of my WSE, I'll probably work on the emblem first before I do anything, right? And try to get like at least 21% there. Or, you know, 21% and a line of damage, or, you know, something like that. Maybe you get a line of crit or something. Anything useful on the third line. That would be something I'd do before I would move away from. Like, if you just roll 2-line damage and 2-line boss damage and nothing else on the weapon, I'd probably re-roll that and try to go for 2 lines attack. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking, is it worth going try to get 2 lines attack and 1 line of ID on the emblem, maybe?
If you roll that at this point, I would hold on to that because that would mean that with that IED plus with the IED, once the superior set comes in, that you can basically get rid of any of the other IED that you have, and you can definitely stabilize the hyperstats and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then once you've completely stabilized on that, and you get more IED from the Legion being completed and all the link skills level 3 and all that stuff, then you can always roll out of the emblem IED later.
Yeah. Okay.
Great. I would never like say for any class ever, like not ever, but like for any class up until you're like reaching the later stages of the late game, I would never say like roll over 2 lines attack and 1 line IED. That's garbage. Like that value will always be utilized because that just means you can move your Legion pieces around or your hyperstats around, and then you can just get damage out of it that way. That extra line is going to translate to damage regardless, and then by the time the cost of the other stuff is just so high, and this stuff of the cost of all the other upgrades is so expensive, or also so high, that it just doesn't make any sense to have that ID there anymore. Then you reroll the ID, but then you have the money for it as well because you have the income because all the other stuff is done, and then it'll just make sense.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, it seems a little ethereal now, like, oh, you'll know it when you know it, but you will.
Yeah, I understand. I understand.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for this. I think we went a little bit over time. My bad for that.
I think so. Yeah. Again, yeah. I'm partially to blame as well. So we're good. But yeah, good luck. Yeah, you're welcome.
And I will be watching the streams, and we see each other in game.
Yes, we will. We see you in Ursus sometimes, I think, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. Well, good luck.
In the chat
yes. Yeah. Definitely. yeah. I'll just my slow brain didn't put the dev together again. It took me a while the first time, and then I forgot again. I guess apparently.
Yeah, understandable.
And I see the name, and I'm like, oh my god. Yeah, I see so many names. Oh my god, it's so crazy. Yeah. And I want to remember all of them. It's not like a lack of wanting. Sometimes people are like, oh my god, he doesn't remember you. And for every person I don't remember, I'm like, oh my god, that must feel so bad I don't remember them. Like, I wish I could remember everyone all the time. It just, my brain just can't remember all the names. And I used to be really good at remembering, like, names and faces I would never forget. But at a certain age, you just kind of, you kind of like get saturated, I guess. And you can't keep adding new faces and names. It just doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens to be, and it'll happen to other people as well, and then they'll understand, I hope.
Yeah, of course. When they read that station, they totally
understand. They're like, oh my god, yeah, no way you can understand, of course, yeah. Hopefully. But yeah, good luck, and I'll see you around in the chat. Yes, you too. Have a nice evening.
Thanks.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.
All right, cool. So moral of the story, don't hold on to 47... 49 sweetheart guitars. I think you're good. You can probably do with a little bit less. Just say you become a boomer. Yeah, just a boomer brain. Once you hit 25, your brain is fully developed, and after that, it just deteriorates. So every 5 years, you have to let go of some tranches of information. Only 49. If you have inventory space left, you need to hold on to more Sweetheart guitars. But yeah, some good stuff here. Nice hat. Some nice things. Yeah, don't underestimate the Legion gains. I think 6k Legion, you'll still feel that you can make some good gains there. Even if you don't need the IED fully, you can fill out the critical damage and a lot of the boss damage, which will also be very helpful. So don't neglect the Legion, but good progress overall. Boost node situation needs to be fixed, right? With the double boosting the skills, that'll help with the damage a lot as well for the bossing, of course. Don't want to undersell that one, but you just have to open a bunch of nodes and find the right ones and then complete them together. If you do end up going for 4, the 4 that you have now, I think you'll be fine. If you keep leveling, then you'll have enough room for it. But yeah, if you want to min-max that, you want to min-max the slots, then you want to put the mobbing nodes together. The mobbing boosts together, I guess, and the bossing boosts together. And create some extra space for yourself in your limited space Legion grid, Matrix grid. So if you guys like the session, I'm glad. Hopefully it was entertaining. Your totem is done. Hopefully you made some good gains, as always. And if you want to win one of these sessions, make sure you leave a comment on the video saying that you would like to win specifically, so I know what the comment is for. Okay. Otherwise, I just think it's one of those thousands of comments that is just praising the insane content, the good, or just spamming good content with a thumbs up. But yeah, and if you want to request one of these private sessions, make sure you check the link in the description. And if you want to join the guild in NA Reboot, there's a link there as well. Other than that, I'm going to do Project C-Ray on the Lara now. So if you want to see that, you won't see that because once you watch this video, it'll probably already be over. But you'll know that it might be coming to YouTube soon. And the Kana video is made, so I might premiere that later today, maybe. And we're still working on the website. A lot of stuff coming, all right? Thanks for the support. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.